12 million cars reach the end of their life every year in the United States. But these cars do not go to waste. They get recycled and turned into new steel. Today, we will show you exactly how this process works. Car recycling is the largest recycling industry in the world. About 95% of all retired vehicles get recycled. The industry recovers over 14 million tons of steel every year. That is enough steel to build major buildings and bridges. When a car arrives at the recycling facility, workers first evaluate it.
Let's check the VIN and assess this damage.
They check if any parts can be resold.
Documenting the VIN and condition.
Everything gets documented for tracking.
Batteries out, moving to storage. Got the converter, has platinum and palladium. Wheels off next, good for resale. Doors and bumpers are next, all organized. Carefully removing the engine and transmission. These are valuable components. Many buy used engines and transmissions for repairs. This saves money and reduces waste. All fluids must be drained before the car can be crushed. This includes engine oil, brake fluid, coolant, and gasoline. These fluids are hazardous to the environment. They are collected and either disposed of safely. Airbags deactivated and removed. Now, extracting the mercury switches, connecting the refrigerant lines. Extraction complete, all hazardous materials safely removed.
After all parts are removed, what remains is the hulk, the empty shell of the car.
This hulk is mostly steel, ready for crushing.
It is now ready for the crushing stage. The car hulk is moved to a large hydraulic crusher. This machine uses enormous pressure to flatten the car. The crusher applies makes the car easier to transport to the next facility. Watch as the crusher flattens the car. In just seconds, a full-size vehicle becomes a flat piece of metal about 1 foot thick. This makes it possible to stack many cars for efficient transportation. Flattened cars take up much less space on trucks. The flattened cars are loaded onto trucks. One truck can carry many more flattened cars than whole cars. These trucks transport the compressed vehicles to shredding facilities. There are about 200 large shredding plants across the United States. The flattened cars arrive at the shredding facility. These plants are enormous. They process thousands of cars every month. The facilities operate powerful machines that can tear apart entire vehicles in minutes. This is the industrial shredder. It is one of the most powerful machines in any recycling facility. The shredder uses 3,000 to 8,000 horsepower. Inside are large rotating hammers that spin at very high speed. The flattened car enters the shredder. The rotating hammers tear it into small pieces. In about 1 minute, the entire car is reduced to fist-sized chunks. Some facilities can process one car every 45 seconds. The power required is immense. What comes out is a mix of different materials: steel pieces, aluminum chunks, copper wire, plastic bits, glass, and rubber. Everything is mixed together. The next step is to separate all these different materials from each other. The first separation method uses powerful electromagnets. These magnets are positioned over the conveyor belt carrying the shredded material. Steel and iron are magnetic metals. The magnets will pull these materials out of the mix. As the mixed material passes under the magnet, steel and iron pieces are lifted up. The magnet captures about 80% of the total vehicle weight. This ferrous metal is now separated and ready to be sent to steel mills for melting and reuse. Aluminum and copper are not magnetic, so they need a different method. The eddy current separator uses a different type of magnetic field. This field causes aluminum and copper to jump off the conveyor belt. They are collected separately because they are valuable. Additional sorting equipment separates the remaining materials. Air systems blow away light plastics and foam. Screens separate materials by size. Optical sensors identify different types of plastic. Workers do final sorting to ensure quality and purity. After sorting, materials are separated into categories: steel in one pile, aluminum in another, copper, plastic, glass, and rubber each sorted separately. Pure materials are worth more money and easier to recycle into new products. About 20 to 25% of the car cannot be easily recycled. This is called auto shredder residue. Some facilities burn this for energy. Others are developing new recycling methods for it. The scrap steel is melted in enormous furnaces. The temperature reaches over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the steel becomes completely liquid. Any impurities are removed during the melting process. The separated steel is transported to steel mills. These facilities melt down the scrap metal and turn it into new steel. Steel mills depend on recycled material. It is an essential part of their production process. The molten steel is refined to remove any remaining impurities. It is then ready to be formed into new products. The liquid steel will be poured into molds or shaped into sheets, beams, or rods depending on what is needed. The recycled steel becomes new products. It is used to make new car parts, steel beams for buildings, rebar for concrete, and many other items. About 25% of a new car is made from recycled steel. Steel can be recycled infinitely. It never loses its properties or quality no matter how many times it is melted down and reformed. The steel in your car might have been recycled many times before. It could be from cars that are decades old. Recycling steel saves enormous amounts of energy and resources. It uses 74% less energy than making new steel from iron ore. Every ton of recycled steel saves 2,500 pounds. Each year in the United States, recycling 12 to 15 million cars saves 85 million barrels of oil. That is enough energy to power 18 million homes for a year. It also prevents millions of tons of carbon dioxide emissions.
This is the complete cycle. An old car arrives at the facility. Valuable parts are removed and reused. The rest is crushed and shredded. Materials are steel goes to the mill. It is melted and becomes new products.
Millions of old cars are recycled into new steel every year. This process saves energy, conserves natural resources, and reduces waste. car the list of most successful recycling industries in the world. Thank you for watching.